John, we're here at CES for another whirlwind of technology. As the digital company, it's appropriate that we're here talking technology, but we're also talking about one of your and my favorite subjects, and that's reputation. And while we're here at the show, we're meeting with corporate comms leaders and business leaders and talking about what we see as new risk to reputation in 2024. As you think about 2024 and reputation, John, what's top of mind? What keeps you awake at night, or what should keep business leaders awake at night?
Well, Ray, you and I know really well with all of the research we've done with the Harris poll that this is a time right now as we move into the election season where there's sort of a toxic nature in our politics, and that's bleeding over into the consumer marketplace. So even though we're here at CES, we're actually very much attuned to trying to understand for brands, marketers, and most importantly, communicators, how do they manage this sort of era of sort of uncertainty?
Absolutely, and I think one of the things that I've noticed just in the last 5 years is a pendulum swinging. 5 years ago, we as companies, we as brands, we as agencies were encouraged to speak out and to speak out a lot. And now I'm seeing the pendulum swing the other way where I see C-suites asking the question, should I speak out? I don't want to speak out. And I'm starting to fear a little bit of retrenchment. Should people be retrenching right now?
No, that's a really good point. I think what's important is that all companies need to define and do the social good that is important to their employees, to their investors, and to their values. But how you do that is a different matter, right? And as we learn, Ray, together, examining words like ESG, for example. Interesting, in the Harvard-Harris poll, 2/3 of Americans don't know what ESG means, but it's a highly divisive term now because of the political narrative that we're in today.
Absolutely, and when we think of ESG, it seems like the acronyms are the troublemakers today. DE&I has been in the news a lot in the last week in particular, with more and more darts being thrown at DE&I. Should business leaders be dialing down DE&I? I think we have some research that suggests not, but again, it's all context.
Business leaders absolutely should remain committed to their diversity initiatives, and many of the ones that we talk to are. The words, again, the acronym is one of those words that has sort of become politicized. So, and we've seen with a lot of the language, many corporate leaders are stepping back from using that term, but they're not, backing away. And in fact, in our new research that we conducted with the Black Economic Alliance, we saw overwhelming support, nearly 8 in 10 Americans supporting the fact that companies should be diverse because they actually see meaningful benefits. They think companies will be better at customer service, better at innovation, and have stronger companies overall.
2023 was a year of a lot of reputational crises. And one of the things we've noticed is that the historic crises were U-shaped. There was a company-led product issue or corporate governance issue, and the company started out, hit a trough, and then recovered. In 2023, we started to see a different shape to crises, and we call it the crisis L. Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, Ray, using our RQ data, our reputation quotient data from Stagwell and the Harris poll, we actually went back and modeled 15 years of data, and we saw many of the crises, as you point out, through the course of that time. Companies like Chipotle or BP or Volkswagen, those companies by and large have returned their reputation back, even though they had those crises. Very different story for other companies like Disney and others, where they've basically divided their audience in half, and that's really the L. And it's not to say that those reputations won't recover, but we're in new territory, right?
Absolutely, and there's no playbook for how to recover from a politically led crisis. And I think what's most alarming to me as someone who's studied reputation like you for decades is the polarization. Can we talk a little bit about political polarization? It's a word that we're going to hear a lot of in 2024 as we lead up to the general election. But what does it mean to marketers and communicators and the C-suite and CEOs?
Today, you want to stay away from having your consumer think like a voter, is really what we've learned. The minute that sort of consumer brain shifts over to that political brain, you're moving into this default sort of psychology where you're not thinking about your relationship with that company and that brand. You're thinking about whether you're a Democrat or Republican or an independent. And the minute you do that, that's when you start cutting apart your audiences. And when you divide, you subtract. And that's something that's really important for companies is we're providing the advice. And we should talk a little bit about our partners too,
absolutely.
right?
And just kind of a final thought is, let's talk about, we've expanded our reputation practice here at Stagwell, and we've created a risk and reputation unit.
Right.
And we've done that because crises are different. And as we've studied some of the crises of 2023, what we've noticed is a lot of the companies that got into trouble have done it, if I simplify, into two camps. One, they had some corporate governance issues. They didn't talk to each other. But two, they were too insular. They didn't get outside input. Can you talk about how we're offering expanded expertise, expanded advice to help deal with that?
Sure, Ray. Well, in addition to the Harris Poll data and the guidance that you and I are providing in our team, we've got two really expert partners from our sister companies. We have SKDK, which is a just highly respected, more on the progressive side firm doing lots of advisory and political campaigning. And on the other side, Targeted Victory doing the same thing on the conservative side. They've been fantastic in these closed sessions that we've had under Chatham House rules, where they've provided very valuable perspectives, don't you believe, for communication leaders, kind of plotting out different ways that a certain issue might be framed, whether it's coming from the right or the left.
And one of the things that we like to talk about when we bring this group together, even internally, it's a messy conversation.
Yeah.
We have a lot of debates. We have a lot of different points of view.
Yeah.
We come from a lot of different backgrounds. But why that matters to business is a messy conversation inside, or a thunderstorm inside will prevent a mess and a thunderstorm outside.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole point of getting out ahead of a future crisis.
That's right.
John, happy CES 2024.
You as well, sir.
And
Happy New Year.
it's all about reputation as we move forward. So thank you.
Thank you.